There we go. Okay. Minasan konbanwa and welcome to Express PD. I'm Monique from JapanEasyReads. And in tonight's webinar, we're going to go through an actual demo of a ClipChat. And so I'll ask the people who are here to pretend that they're students and to get a bit of a feel for how, the questioning that you can do and how it would look for your students. So, but in saying that, please butt in and ask any questions if you need. Not a problem. So just a little recap for those that are not sure of Movie Talk or ClipChat. It's a really powerful CI strategy, and I just love using Movie Talk. And I find that it's a really good way of keeping the class engaged and providing repetition of those core language chunks in novel and interesting ways. So they don't think that they're just being, it keeps it fresh and interesting. So basically, it's a technique where the teacher uses a short, engaging video or clip and provides rich, meaningful language input. So instead of just playing the whole clip, the teacher then pauses and frequently and narrates and asks questions in Japanese, in the target language, ensuring that the students understand through the context and the visuals and the repetitions. So it's a great way to provide comprehensible input. Great way to repeat the high frequency structures naturally. And, it's that storytelling element, which, is so powerful. At the moment, I'm listening to a story, an audio story, and I was reminded just today as I was getting swept away with it, just the power of story and if we can keep it compelling, that affective filter goes down and, that engagement goes up. And another bonus, obviously, is it encourages listening comprehension without forcing output. So the questions that you can ask throughout to check for comprehension, they can be responded in a way that just is thumbs up, thumbs down, or just simple 1 or 2 word answers. But yeah, by keeping the language simple and interactive and comprehensible, ClipChat really can help students acquire language effortlessly and enjoyably. So this is the one that we're going to do tonight. And one of the best things about Movie Talk or ClipChat is that it does help minimize prep time because you can reuse the same clip and just modify it depending on your students and the language that you'd like to target, I suppose. So last week, Tessa had requested something with oshimasu. So I've chosen this one. It does touch on it, but I've also chosen this one because it is, you can really tell the story in very simple language. So if you haven't done Movie Talk before, this is a really easy one to, dip your toes in. But obviously check its appropriateness for your learning context. So, you may find that this is not one that you feel comfortable showing in your school setting. But as I said, it's a great one for keeping the language really really limited, but it's a very compelling little story, very short. So the Super 7 verbs there. So ga imasu, ga suki desu, o shimasu, and to imasu, you can also incorporate that if you would like it a more of a narrative. So I would ensure that those words, those chunks are known by the students or at least familiar with the students. If we're just doing it with, I'm thinking, Catherine, for yours, I'd probably just cut out the to imasu and just focus on imasu, ski desu, and possibly oshimasu, or just desu with some of the adjectives thrown in there. You really can pare this one right down so that it's really basic, simple story. Also, there's some leeway with what adjectives you would like to use. So for this one, you could either, I have done it with juniors using just oki and chisai, but with the older classes, I would definitely use se ga takai, se ga hikui. And it's very visual, so that generally hasn't been a problem at all. So, all right. はい。じゃあ、皆さん。
はい。
はい。
はい。女の子がいます。女の子がいます。女の子はオレンジですか？
いいえ。
いいえ。青いですか？
いいえ。
いえ。
何色ですか？
ピンク。
ピンク。はい、ピンク。女の子はピンクです。女の子は
ピンク。
ピンクです。はい。オレンジじゃないです。女の子は大きいですか？小さいですか？
小さいです。
そうですね。女の子はとっても小さいです。背が低いです。What does 低い mean?
そ
Short. はい。背が she's short. 背が低いです。はい、じゃあチェックします。皆さん、女の子がいますか？それとも男の子がいますか？
女の子。
はい、そうですね。女の子がいます。女の子は何色ですか？
ピンク。
そうですね。女の子は小さくてピンクです。小さくてピンクです。おー、誰ですか？女の子ですか？
いいえ。
誰ですか？女の
エレブス。
子それとも男の子？
男の子。
そうですね。皆さん、男の子はかわいいそれともかっこいいですか？
かっこいい。
かっこいい。
かっこいいです。男の子はとってもかっこいいです。男の子は何がありますか？そして何を持っていますか？ You can choose whichever. 何ですか？お金お金。はい。お金があります。そして、何ですか？
ギャレット。
タバコ。
そうですね。
タバコ
そうですか？
皆さん、タバコはいいですか？
悪い
いい
です。
え。ダメです。
悪いです。悪いです。はい。かっこいい男の子は、サングラスがありますか？
はい。
はい。
うん。サングラスが、サングラスはかっこいいですか？かっこいいサングラスですか？
うん
多分
7。
な
かな。はい。じゃあ、かっこいい男の子は背が高いですか？背が低い？
高い。
高い。
です。おー、皆さん、女の子、小さい女の子、背が低い女の子は誰が好きですか？
男の子。
うん。どんな男の子が好きですか？
かっ
かっこいい。
こいい。
かわいい男の子、それともかっこいい男の子？
かっこいい
か
男
っ
の子。
こいい。
そうですね。はい。そうですね。とっても好きです。女の子は背が低いです。でも、かっこいい男の子は背が高いです。皆さん、背が低いですか？皆さん、ブリンダさんは背が低いですか？それとも背が高いですか？
そうですね。背が高いです。
うん。カトリンさん、背が高いですか？
いいえ、背が低いです。
背が低いですか？それとも背がとっても低いですか？
とっても低いかな。
はい。わかりました。はい。皆さん、えー女の子はかわいい、それともかっこいいですか？
かわいいです。
かわいいです。誰がかっこいいですか？
男の子。
男の子。
はい、男の子です。かっこいい男の子は、かわいい女の子が好きだと思いますか？
いいえ。
いいえ、
うーん、どうしてどうして
背が低いかな。
すごい。はい。そうですね。
ピンク
ピンク。
ですから。
そ
そういうの。
うかもしれません。男の子、かっこいい男の子は、ピンクが好きじゃないからかな。うん。えっと、男の子は、私は背が高いと言います。女の子は何、えーうん、女の子は好きですと言います。でも、かっこいい男の子は好きじゃないと言いますか？どう思いますか？ What do you think?
好きじゃない。
好きじゃない。そうですね。えーかっこいい男の子はピンクでかわいい女の子は好きじゃないです。なぜなら背が低いからです。皆さん、女の子はどうですか？ 気持ちはどうですか？嬉しい？
悲しい。
悲しいです。ちょっと悲しいですか？それともとっても悲しい？
とっても。
とってもとっても悲しいです。
What?
ああ、うんこじゃないです。かっこいい男の子は、モーターバイクがあります。モーターバイクがあります。そして、女の子は
やば。
とても悲しいです。でも、誰がいますか？
男の子。
かわいいな。
かわいい。
かわいい。
はい、かわいい
男
男の子がいます。かわいい男の子は嬉しい？嬉しくない？
嬉しい。
嬉しい。
うん。じゃあ、皆さん、女の子はかっこいい？それともかわいいですか？
かわいい。
かわいい。
かわいいです。青い男の子もかわいいですか？
はい。
それともかっこいいですか？
かわいい。
かわいいです。はい。うん、男の子、青い男の子は背が低いです。そして、女の子も背が低いです。同じです。うん。だから、女の子は男の子が好きです。そして、男の子は女の子も好きです。二人は嬉しいです。お、皆さん、クリフハンガーです。皆さん、女の子は誰が好きですか？とっても好きですか？かっこいい男の子が好きですか？それとも、かわいい男の子が好きですか？じゃあ、ゲスしましょう。かわいい男の子が好き。手挙げて。
はい、
リンダさんと、二人。かっこいい男の子が好きじゃないだと思いますか？じゃあ、チェックしましょう。チェックしましょう。いいですか？
はい。
はい。あーあーはい、OK。チェックしましょ
We started back in 2014 selling only here in Australia. When we jumped on Shopify within a year, it allowed us to touch all the market.
厳しいね。
本当に。Oh, okay. Oops. So there we go. So a little bit, kawaii so. But when I was watching through that again, I was thinking, some of the other phrases that you could, did anything come out for you? Any other possible language chunks that you think, yeah, this would be a great example to use?
I think I just liked the use of the adjectival clause that you just kind of wove in there, kakkoi otoko no ko,
Yeah.
quite naturally. I thought that
Yeah.
was great.
And I think, that also I think the adjectives is really easy to, you could even picture talk this and, talk about, the colors and describing them and their size. And it's a nice, easy way to introduce some adjectives and connect the adjectives too really easily. I like how you can really recycle a lot of the vocab, the same vocab again. If you wanted to use more, tenki wa dou desu ka? Ame ga arimasu ka? Futte imasu ka? Nani iro desu ka? ピンクじゃないですね。何色になりましたか? And you ask them to be guessing.
何をしました？
何を、はい、はい。どこに行きましたか？バイクですか？それとも車ですか？早い。And what's one other thing? That I was, talking about お金持ちですか? Yeah, there's so much that you can do with this. But yeah, I really wanted to hone in on those adjectives. What I think would be great to do after this is then like a little write and discuss about, who was there, otoko noko ga, ona noko ga imasu. You can use these questions to sort of help to write a write and discuss. So
Can I ask, sorry, can I ask a question here, Monique? When you do a write and discuss, I watched your video the other day and it was quite short. How extensively do you go into the story? Like how many, it's hard to be specific, I suppose. How many lines would you be looking at writing?
I would be going, I think the mistake that I made at the beginning when I was trying to do that was try and retell everything. all of the story. And I read from Mike Pito, I don't know whether you're familiar with him, but he's a big one for, he's another Spanish teacher who really uses write and discuss really well. And I was just reading something that he was saying that he gets his students to do after a write and discuss, and then or even to sort of help to scaffold a write and discuss, he'd have pictures. So you might have a selection of some of these pictures, you know, just up here. So, you know, might be 3 or 4. And he asks them to say, don't tell me the whole story. Tell me what you see in the picture. So, you know, onanoko wa chisai desu, or onanoko wa kanashii desu, ureshiku nai desu. Or so you're not expecting the kids to say the whole story and recap the whole story. It is pretty brief. Just the main points, really. So in this case, I would probably say onanoko ga imasu. I thought that I'd done onanoko ga imasu. Otoko noko mo imasu ka? And then I'd ask them, hai, hitori desu ka, futari desu ka? Futari ga imasu. Hitori wa kakoi desu ka? Hai. Kakoi otoko noko wa se ga takai desu ka? So I might just say, to recap this story, there is a girl. If they know the colors, she's pink, she's small. There's a boy. He's cool, he's tall. The girl likes the boy. The boy doesn't like the girl. She's sad. There is another boy. The boy is small. The boy likes the girl. But you know, that might be it. That might be all you need to recap.
Yeah, that's great. Sorry, I do have to go in a minute,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's really helpful, because I've done one and I found that it got really long because we were telling the whole story. I mean, they could do it.
Yeah.
But if you then want them to kind of copy it, for example, it gets quite long in the tooth. So
Yeah, absolutely. So
yeah,
I think
thank
short and sweet as the as the movie is.
Great. Thank you so much. I'll catch up on the rest later.
No worries, Belinda. Thank you.
Mata ne.
Ai mata ne. Ja ne. Bye. Yeah, so hi Tessa, how are you?
Hello, good, thank you.
Oh, that's good. I'm not sure how much you saw of
I think I saw the ending of the video.
Oh, okay. No worries. Yeah. So yeah, we just sort of went through some of the different language that you could use for this one. Yeah, and I'll share this one obviously, and you the screenshots as well, and there's some questions there that you might like to use to help when you're writing a write and discuss, or you're trying to do a write and discuss. Catherine, for you, like even I think that you could do a really, really simple one with your clever year 3s. You know, do they know otokonoko and onanoko?
We've been going over that one.
Yeah.
Recently. We've done it before as well, but yeah, it's not common yet.
Yeah. And
they've done colours before as well, so that would be easy to do.
So you could just really, really recycle it and, you know, just stick with, you know, there is a girl, she's pink, she's not orange, she's not blue, and you can color code those for a little bit of extra scaffolding. Oh, that's the other thing that I have sometimes used different structures for. I was thinking what it was. Ga hoshi desu, like wants a, you know,
Boyfriend.
wants a boyfriend, wants a kiss, kiss o shitai desu. So yeah, it depends. I just pick one or two and then go, you know, really try and maximize exposure to those. So if you're doing onnanoko or onnanoko ga imasu, otoko noko ga imasu, futari desu, and then the colors or otoko noko wa ao desu, kawaii desu. So you could just do suki desu, kawaii, kakoi, oki, chisai. And
Yes, it's your.
Pardon?
I found it, I looked at the rock, paper, scissors
Yeah.
ClipChat, but this one would definitely fit to like just being one level up, I
Yeah.
sort of feel,
Yeah.
just by the simple graphics.
Yeah. Yeah. Really simple. And, you know, like if you felt that they needed a little bit more frontal preloading of vocab, you could do some, you know, picture talks with that. But yeah, I think this one, because it is such simple graphics, it's a nice, easy one to ease into.
And it's a simple concept, where the other one was about bullying.
That's right.
So,
Yes. Yeah. So this one's really, you know, likes, doesn't like, is kind, is not kind, is cute, is cool, you know, what they have, you know, if he had the sunglasses, if, you know, his sunglasses, he's got a motorbike. Yeah, blue one's got a couple of teeth, you know.
yeah, I can see that the seniors would enjoy the ending.
The ending, yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of but yeah, and another, and it sort of also you know, you can have that conversation with them, you know, who's tall, who's short in the class, and, you know, put them in a line and line up, you know, se ga hikui hitotachi wa koko, and se ga takai, and, you know, even Belinda-san wa Catherine-san yori takai desu. You know, like you could easily do some bit more interactive sort of stuff as well to support that, just to provide a little bit more input. Yeah. So yeah, that was the one that I had prepared. Were there, oh, that's right. And the other, the to imasu, you know, you could easily then retell this story and have almost, you know, like I've done it with speech bubbles where, you know, you could, you know, you could have, you know, some greetings in here, you know, konnichiwa, and, you know, he's, konnichiwa. So you could milk it for more, you know, depending on what language you wanted to use, but you could easily slip in some greetings and hajimemashite, you know, that sort of thing. You can easily put that in here.
I think higher levels you could even do to omoimasu.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, who do you think was kind? You know,
or even what she's thinking, like, わあ、かっこいい男の子ですね、と思います。
Yeah, that's right. So there's so much that you could do with this one for such a simple movie. I really like it for that reason. Yeah. So yeah, onaji desu. Yeah. So
All these clip chats, sorry.
sorry,
This is
Tessa.
one of the things I find really hard with CI is finding the right resources for what you're doing at the time. You know, like this is cool, but I'm like, it wouldn't really fit with what I'm doing in most of my units now. Well, maybe year 7.
So like this one we whizzed through in probably, I don't know, you could have this just as a 10-minute activity just to provide input for it using, so you're focusing on giving them extra input in imasu and adjectives and I think. So what are you doing at the moment, Tessa? I know you said oshimasu is one thing.
Yeah, so I'm doing with my year 7s, we're just doing jiko shokai sort of stuff. So we've just formally introduced ski and ski janai, which is good. I've been hanging out for it.
Yeah.
I'm finding it a little difficult to let go of, thematic units and that kind of thing. The safety of knowing what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was looking at this. I might be able to work that in, and then we do sort of a family one next term and lead into pets kind of stuff. Well, it's not set in stone, but that's sort of. So I could probably do this with year 7. Year 8, we're doing kind of daily routine stuff, but.
Yeah, and like obviously, if you're doing jiko shokai stuff, like I think you could definitely use this, to where are we? Like
then sort of fill in the gaps. I really only saw the very end. There's no sound to it? Is that right?
There is sound to it. It's not really
voices or something, but
more sound effects rather than.
But so you could like input speech kind of thing.
Oh yeah. So
and you could always give them names as well. Like
that's right.
There's nothing stopping you adding to it.
That's right. Giving them a name and giving them an age. Like, onna noko ga imasu. Namae wa nan desu ka? Nan da to omoimasu ka? You get them to give them a name, and then you start referring to her as, onna noko no namae wa Betty desu. Betty wa nan sai desu ka? And then, you can tell them, get some ideas. And then once you've told the story, like to go back over again and then speak from Betty's point of view. Watashi wa Betty desu. Ju Broksai desu. Se ga hikui desu. Things that they that she likes, kakoi hito or, demo tabako ga suki janai desu. What else have we got here?
Jacket.
Motorbike ga suki desu. Hoshi desu. I'm trying to think what else you'd like to include in your jiko shokais.
We do
hajimemashite. So I'll put that in here. Konnichiwa, and she comes up and she meets in. There we go. Hajimemashite. Watashi wa Betty desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Boku wa Brian desu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. So you could definitely make that into a little, jiko shokai type story. And she
even year levels, like you could go,
yeah,
she's 16, say what year level, and then just assume that he's older because he's
like year 12 or whatever.
yeah, because he's got Taco, he's one of the rebel boys or something.
yeah, that's right. He's and um you know Canberra ni just trying to Sundae and he could say Cabarita ni Sundae or wherever he's living. So what else is there? Name, age, where you live, what you like.
Nationality, we did.
Yeah.
They can make up a country.
Yeah. Blob kuni ni suteimasu. Sakimashita. Yeah. So I think you could, in a creative way, easily add, and she could say, pet ga imasu ka? Iie, pet ga imasen. Demo motorbike ga arimasu. So yeah, I think you could definitely use this. That's why I really like this one. It can be manipulated to so many different to
when I've done the picture talk, the clip chat sort of thing before, when I've attempted it, I feel like I've dragged it out too long.
Yep, I've done that too. Quick? I think you really need to just keep tuning in with where the kids are at, whether if it's dragging out, just fast forward. The other thing too is that I've found when I feel like the momentum is I'm losing that a little bit, it's generally because I haven't really directed enough questions to if it becomes more of a monologue of the story, sometimes that you can lose them that way. And I found that if I can, like say, for example, here, I might say, oh, minasan, motorbike ga suki desu ka? Hoshii desu ka? 欲しい人は誰ですか？どんなモートバイクが好き？ホンダ？それともハーリー・デイビッドソンが欲しいですか？So, if they need to be, just to have a little bit more.
So, sorry, there's one thing I keep getting confused about. So they often talk about like pre-teaching vocabulary or something, so that when you read a book, there's no, or whatever activity you do, there's no actual new words. So they know the main stuff, and then you might just do 1 or 2, 3 new words.
Yeah.
So is the pre-teaching then, is that making sure they know the vocabulary to handle the book or whatever it is you're trying to get them to? Is that done through things like picture talk? You're teaching the vocab through that, or are you specifically like just writing it on the board so that they kind of write it down?
So say with this one here, I like they would know if this was a brand spanking new class, and I wanted to do this with them. I wanted to just do skides and imas and maybe des and those 3. And I just wanted to use those ones. I would make sure that they knew, and those 3 language chunks were on the board so that the slower processing kids could see them. And I'd also do a gesture for each one and make sure, we do a little gesture, a couple of games at the beginning. And then when I'm telling the story and we're chatting about it, and I come up with, and I know that they don't know Sega Takai, Sega Hikui, I might have that up on the board then, or write it up if it looks like I've lost them. But yeah, this is the medium to give them the input of those of the language that they need then to be able to read a
So this is in a way practicing that language you want them to know.
Yeah, but so providing them with input so that so just giving them lots of input with the language that you want them to know. So if in your case you wanted them to be able to do Jiko Shokai, I would approach it with that in mind and say, you know, and then you can recap and you know, do a Jiko Shokai for each one. You could do one for, this dude and, little blue fella, and do a Jiko Shokai for each of those. So in one little short clip, you've got 3 opportunities to do a Jiko Shokai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Each slightly different, but using the same language.
So the expectation with something like this is that they might have heard that language before, but they still need lots more input before it actually becomes internalized. And this is a medium for input.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yep, definitely. So, and I know that you're saying you're sort of struggling with looking at things outside of and it is a safety net, isn't it? The units, it's a real safety net because, if you're a little bit more freewheeling, you just natural thing is you're worried that you're not covering everything. But if you can still do CI within a unit like a Jiko Shokai unit. It's just a different way of thinking about how you provide the input. So rather than, drilling and practicing, you are just finding interesting things that you can talk about that will use that language that you want them to be able to produce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this would be a great one to do with, like creating, creating a character. You're giving your students and you are giving each of them their own character, and you might start with just a bit of storytelling. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story, and it's a really short one, and you just tell the story as it, and keep it moving. He likes him, she doesn't like that. He's tall, he's short. And then when you come back over, you could then say, okay, Pinku no onna no ko no namae wa nan desu ka? And then you give them more details, add more details. So there's heaps that you could do, I think, with this one that would tie in with what you need, I think. Yeah, and then your write and discuss, you could just have as your Jiko Shokai.
Yep. So that like the Jiko Shokai that we've created together, they would write.
Yeah. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, no, I can see it. I think